Hello everyone and welcome back to the 110th episode of PandTha Talks.
Hello.
I love how his mic just cut out just as he went to do that. That's
Oh,
hilarious.
thanks, Discord. You're the greatest.
So, as me and Will have been discussing a bit beforehand, and I'll be honest, we went on an absolute fucking rampage yesterday at the anger of the games industry. I'm sure you remember exactly what I'm referring to in this regard.
Yep.
I can't even recall where it began. I just remember us ranting for like about 10,
I think I just
15
sent
minutes.
you. I sent you the thing about marathon. I think is what started
Oh,
it.
you did, yes. We'll be covering that today. And the fact that we just slowly got more and more annoyed. And I think my favourite comment that I made during that time was how it would not surprise me if they just turn around and start charging with premium currency to access a location one time. And you told me to basically shut the fuck up because you don't want them to get ideas.
Literally, because
It wouldn't, yeah, it would not shock me at all. So, in this episode, we do have a fair bit to talk about. We do have to discuss the marathon situation with Bungie because we've given them a bit of a pass. The last time we mentioned them, other than me discussing just in general, because they upset me a long time ago with their handling of Destiny 2. Other than them little stories, we've kind of been quiet on them for a while.
I mean, we've had people do worse than what they've done, so
Yeah, but I think they've
that's the
stepped up.
reason they've gotten away with what they've gotten away with.
Yeah. After that, we'll be discussing some Schedule 1 player who's apparently discovered potential new property coming in future update. And moving from there, Atomfall's player count reaching new heights. This one I found a bit interesting. Majority of PC gaming revenue reportedly comes from microtransactions.
Really?
Kinda hurts me on like a physical level, that one.
The worst part is though, and this pains me to say, I'm not shocked.
No, as I said, it hurts me on a physical level. Never said it surprised me. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle just got a lot more fun, apparently. So, we'll see why. Assassin's Creed Shadows removes feature, and players are actually happy about it. Who would have known that Ubisoft could have just removed content and players would be happy? Huh. After moving from there, we'll be discussing Bloodborne producer establishing a new studio. And the last topic of this episode will be a bit of a rough one, and I only plan to skim over it because I don't want to go too far into it, but we do need to address the fact that, to be honest, the PC market failed on this instance. It's about a game that's had a lot of controversy come out about it, and understandably so, in the past couple of weeks, and we'll briefly discuss that when we get to it, though. But other than that, shall we get into the more interesting stuff to start with?
You're
Well,
gonna make me cry today, aren't you?
I'll be honest, I was more just annoyed when I found out and disgusted. So,
It's gonna make me cry.
let's rant about Bungie, shall we?
I'm gonna find a
We
good corner.
start as we mean to go on here. How dare this? How double dare this? He just sent my bloody recording of the to the other monitor. The heck do you think it's doing? Anyways, so Bungie released a set of trailers. One was nearly 2 years ago, which Will sent me, and it was just a piss take of a trailer.
It's ridiculous. You literally just watch a guy running for a whole minute just to die, and that's it.
Yeah, the other trailer was about a minute long, and it was released 5 days ago, and it was basically just watching people be killed through a CCTV camera. I'd say people, but I'll be honest, they just look like Apex Legend characters.
Yeah.
I think when you actually told me to look at this, I said to you, it looks like the love child of Apex Legends and No Man's Sky.
Yep. That is indeed what you said.
I'll stand by that. So we're gonna watch this trailer. I'll pause as and when we need to say what we want to say about the topic, because let's be honest, certain things do need saying here about this.
I mean, right off the bat, man. I don't know about you, but I don't like the style at all.
No, the style of the
It's
characters, the guns, nah. Even just the environment, I'm not very fond. I'm really not.
No.
But let's see what else they've got. Oh, it'd be great if you don't press pause on that. There we go. I don't know if I want to watch it again. I already watched it once. Like, that sort of style. I could enjoy looking at this if you clear up the environment a bit, because I'll be honest, it just looks pretty low res.
Yeah, because they've just got fucking fog everywhere. It's just a lazy way of basically having low render distance.
Yeah. I mean, even there.
Yeah, everything just looks kind of crap.
You know,
it's like going back to the older games.
Yeah, you know how you play like 1440p, I play 1080p most often. This is easily like fucking 640.
Ouch.
The only time there's actual detail is when there's bright neon colours.
Yeah, it's so much.
So annoying. Exactly, again, neon colours. Wow, using the old Halo sniper.
Thing is, as well, is where you can see detail on the sides of the guns. You can see numbers and stuff. Yeah. Guarantee you'll not see them in the game because they'll scale down the resolution of it because it'll cause massive performance issues. Like pretty much any new game released these days.
Yep. Well done, dude. You pressed the trigger and had to deal with recoil. Proud of you.
You're meant to squeeze it, not pull it.
Yeah. So, now we're about to find out what this game is. And apparently it's a team-based extraction shooter. I've got my doubts. Well, I can tell you it will be, but it really depends on what you view it as.
Was that a Kavira move right there?
It seems it, doesn't it? You're a runner. Okay, a drug runner. What kind are we talking? Metal...
hey, whatever you want, mate.
What's it called? Mirror's Edge runner? I'd much prefer that. You know what? Bring me another Mirror's Edge game. I fucking love them games. I still to this day find that fucking hilarious. That glass in Windows can just catch a bullet and basically, for like a bullet or two, won't smash. It's fucking, excuse me? No, a bullet just passed straight through that fucking thing. Unless it's bulletproof glass. At which point that shit's not shattering. But
worst
yeah.
grenade throw ever.
I know, right? There was something I saw as well in this. I'm wondering if I'll spot it again, actually. Do you see his action there when he was opening the door? That same fucking animation is used for picking shit up as well. And there was a room at one point in this trailer where he picks up like 5 fucking things straight after each other. I would get so wound up so quickly. Also, the AI looks like absolute piss.
I mean, they all look the exact same as well. There's no variation. Look at them right now. You're seeing 4 copies of each other. Pretty much.
I think the only unique one's this one, and that's because he's got
he's got a slight... he's got a slightly different helmet.
Yeah.
So all the PvE is going to be is just to alert players where you are.
Pretty much.
And then you get shot in the back because of how people's playstyles are gaming these days in anything that's PvP.
Pretty much, and I've got to say, otherworldly threats. What the fuck's threatening about this? It's like stomping on bugs. Yeah, actually, I think this is it. Yeah. Exactly.
Why does it look like the fucking when he saw the teammate in front of him? It looked like he was like the teammate was moving in like 15 FPS. You see that shit? The way he turns and all.
Okay. That's weird.
He like jitters
got
around.
Some sync issues right there. Wow. So different from every other extraction shooter that's ever been released, you know?
Surely.
Like, literally, there is nothing similar to Escape from Tarkov or Delta Force's version or anything else.
Run ahead. Your objective is simple. Get in, gather as much loot as you can, and make it out alive.
No shit, Sherlock. It's called an extraction shooter. It's kind of what they do. Yeah, that's definitely what you want to do, guys. Fill that vault.
Think quickly on your feet and outplay your opponents. And in your next run, you and your teammates will be the ones coming out on top.
Yeah, he's literally at this point just describing sort of a basic shooter in any shape or form. The part that annoys me is how many times he turns around and goes, "Death is never the end."
And even if you're down on your luck, factions can sponsor you with a fresh loadout. so you can get right back into the fight.
So
Do
a
you mean a
scav,
bit-
a scav
Yeah.
run.
Exactly.
First-person multiplayer action.
Alright, maybe not because there were so many people saying this is the next Tarkov killer. It's like, man, no game ever kills another game.
No. I think it's happening at the moment to Drug Dealer Simulator, and that's about it.
But like, they didn't kill the game though, because like pretty much everyone of like no who was even playing Drug Dealing Simulator by the time Schedule 1 came out.
You know what, mate? I've got a little to add to that topic after this. After we cover Marathon,
I can imagine.
It's going to be good fun. I forgot about it until just now. But I don't know if you just heard what these guys said here. So I thought
Bungie brings its best-in-class first-person multiplayer action to the forefront.
best
This is their
in
best.
class.
Are we going back to the days of we'll get them with the bright colors and that'll bring everyone in?
Pretty much. I mean, if it worked like that, bloody hell. Well, I mean, YouTube would be piss easy. You just throw a load of like neon greens, neon pinks all over the screen. Problem solved. You have thousands of millions of views instantly. Like, they actually make me question some days. How is Bungie classified as multiplayer best in class? The game did well for itself, don't get me wrong. Well, their games did, but I don't remember people playing Destiny 2 or Halo like a fucking extraction shooter.
Gunplay.
Could be wrong.
With unique playstyles and customizable
Ah, yes. Unique playstyle.
dynamic and strategic team fights.
Strategic.
On a zero-to-hero run or high rolling with powerful gear, you'll need to use your best
Powerful gear, but like I am sitting watching them have to shoot a person 20 times to kill them.
because no matter
It's gonna feel so underwhelming.
skill and strategy will
I'll be
always
honest,
have the edge.
from what I've seen of the shooting, it looks so shit.
With contextual
Less than mediocre.
shared objectives and down but not
Yeah,
out
so shit.
to streamline playing with your friends. Death.
Yeah, literally, like they're saying it's an extraction shooter, but it just feels more like a battle royale.
Yeah.
The only difference is instead of being the last one standing at the end, you just extract, and that's the equivalent.
No,
Like
exactly.
loot is going to be meaningless if you just can spawn in with different guns for free.
Yeah, and also the big thing about a lot of extraction shooters, I don't know if it's just me that's noticed this, but you don't have this shit all over your screen. Like, I'm just gonna take
You've got a
the
compass to kill
subtitles.
feed, and you see your friends' fucking health status. You have a fucking UI of different your skills. You see your health, energy or something at the bottom right, whatever the little bar is. There's
Yeah.
so much on screen.
Exactly, that's kind of what's baffling me here. The right
Yeah.
side of the screen is the only place without anything there. That's just because he's focused on central. I can't stand that. It looks awful.
I don't know. When I think of extraction shooter, I would immediately think like anything like Tarkov. Like it's a lot
Yeah.
more serious, not cartoony.
No, exactly. And I mean, I know we turned around and said about a game just the other, I think it was just the other month, where we turned around and said it does the mechanics at a bare minimum, but that's all it needed to do. This is the bare minimum in shooting, except it doesn't look fun, and when that's the main mechanic you are going for, it kind of needs to be fun.
I mean, all they've shown as well is just everyone just literally holding left click on each other, and that's it.
Yeah,
They've shown
pretty
like two skills, which whatever.
Yeah.
They show one clip of looting where you're just sitting spamming E. Other than that, it's just been people holding left click, and again just screaming battle royale rather than extraction shooter.
Yeah, I mean, we got to even take into account here. Well, this isn't on PC. This is recorded on a PlayStation.
And get out.
Oh yeah, you can revive your friends after they've died. What fucking extraction shooter tells you to do that? Once again, more battle royale related.
Yeah.
More arguably, Apex Legends like.
Yeah.
But even that had a better respawn system.
Your skills alone are enough to conquer any challenge. We give you the freedom to opt out of crew fill to take all
Bro just knifed him in the back and just took it.
Yeah.
No two runs in marathon ever play out the same.
No shit, you'll be playing different people pretty consistently. Well, at least
Yeah.
until the game probably ends up flopping, and then at which point you've probably got like 5 people in the entire game.
Everyone's jumping off the map to get XP, you know.
The good old Concord days. Yeah, this was something I actually thought was pretty cool, and I have to give them the credit here. I'll show you. This. Now, the unpredictable players bit is like, well, that's what a multiplayer game is, no matter what, you fucking morons. But regarding the first bit, the dynamic events and the weather cycle. The
weather's
cycle,
just going to make it easy to play.
Yeah, the weather cycle will only come into effect if the game looks reasonable and runs reasonably. Yeah, exactly. But the dynamic events could be interesting dependent on what you do. But let's be honest, they'll probably be very limited in how they decide to handle it.
The dynamic events are going to be, mate, is a crate drop. And then the dynamic weather, see on Rust, when you're playing and it starts raining, all that does is make it impossible to hear anything.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And it just means that people who play like grubs, which is 90% of the player base, have an easier time grubbing, and that's going to be no different in this game.
Sounds fucking abysmal.
You'll have to adapt on the fly if you want to survive.
Well done, you've learned how multiplayer shooter games work, or any just multiplayer game.
Also, if that's what you look like when you're invisible, what is the point of being invisible?
What?
When they come through the smoke here, they've turned invisible, hence they're like hollowed out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Didn't even notice they were invisible on that.
Exactly.
Looking to unlock upgrades or increase your faction reputation. Slip into the shadows as for.
Ironic that happens straight afterwards.
And goes past your enemies.
I mean, the water's completely still, even though there's people sprinting through it, so you're going to see someone walking through water pretty easily.
And yes, we do know this is early alpha footage. They've said that, but I do have a lot of questions.
The way this game is going to play out, mate, if it does like manage to survive, it'll be early access or in beta or whatever for the next 3 years minimum.
Give me a moment. Let's have a quick look here. There we go. Marathon. Releasing in 5 months' time. And...
So, given new Steam, what's the word?
Steam's new policy.
Yeah, Steam's new policy, they have to the latest of December, technically, no? They get one time the delay. Which technically can they even do that if the game's already released? I wonder how that works for games like this where they're releasing in early access.
Well, are they releasing it in early access?
Oh, so it's actually not even playable yet?
No, it's added to a wish list.
Okay.
So they can extend it once from that date.
Yeah.
It's up to them.
For rare materials and profit opportunities without being discovered. Want to push enemy teams and steal their loot? Bring in Glitch with agility implants and your strongest weapons to disrupt rival crews.
So the only agility he uses, he did a tiny little slide when he's already ran away out of line of sight.
Yeah, and on top of that, like, you actually see it, just look at the distance actually travelled from this ability. It's fucking nothing.
Yeah.
That is not speed.
No. You probably get a 10% speed boost for 5 seconds after you use your ability or some stupid crap.
Most likely.
I don't know, I think it doesn't help that we're just kind of sick of these kind of games.
Yeah.
If they made an actual extraction shooter, it might be a different story, but it's not. As much as they want to say it is, with the way the gunplay has been and the fighting has been, it's not an extraction shooter.
It's definitely not something I would pick up, and I was pretty big on Tarkov back in the day, but no.
Loads of people still are. Like the game is still popping. Other than the fact that like they keep having problems with cheaters, and then it's pretty much just the same shit every wipe. So the only fun time to play Tarkov these days is like the first week of wipe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You play like the first week, 2, and then after that you just drop off.
Yeah.
So there's a bit right at the end here that pisses me off of what he says, because it reminds me of a bit of a meme, but I'll pull that up when we get. Let's see what else they've got for us before they end.
You're always free to experiment with team compositions.
No shit.
How you want to play your runner is your loot and imagination.
No, it's actually your mechanical fucking basically limitations.
It also feels like it's max team of 3, which
it just seems that way.
What battle royales have had that before?
Well, I mean,
Apex yet again.
Yeah.
Endgame challenges, ranked play, discovering secrets,
ranked play,
storytelling, community events, and more all await you in season 1. where you and
Was
your friends
broke.
Yeah, they do that on every fucking monitor. I noticed it winds me up.
Like nothing lines up.
No,
of Tau Ceti 4.
unravel the mysteries of Tau City 4. This is it.
Only ever one run away from your next big score.
Reminds me of that meme. Fucking just remember, all gamblers give up just before they hit big. That's literally what they've gone with, and it wasn't
they're-
just me that thought that, because every single fucker just said the self same
Oh
shit.
my god!
The
At the end of the marathon,
is layoff. Why bother calling this marathon if it has nothing in common with it?
because their first trailer is a depiction of what the gameplay is going to be like. You sit running around for half an hour of the lobby looting just to get shot in the back by someone sitting in a corner, and that's it. That's every match.
Yeah, from the studios that made Halo and Destiny. Sure, from the creators. Kinda down. Yeah, I'm with him on that.
They're trying to hype it up like the map's going to be cool and there's loads of secrets everywhere, but it's going to be the same shit as always.
Yeah,
Literally,
also is.
a day if you're lucky, with the way people play games, a day if you're lucky, maybe two, they'll have ran around, figured out everything you can do, and then it'll just be different ways to go and get loot from there on. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, that guy there, I think, just put it in best way. This game is going to have so many microtransactions.
It's gonna be like Fortnite. It's just gonna be full of skins that
Well,
you can buy each week.
even better, Marathon is a paid game with free maps at launch.
Yeah, I told you people were saying it's gonna be $40. Did we get a price
Yeah.
tag on it or no?
We don't have a price tag. All we know is it's going to be a premium release, not a free-to-play title. Pricing information is unavailable at this time, but it won't be a full-price game, so $40 is about the rough look. And Marathon is said to be launching with free maps. So I'd expect that they'd, add more maps as we go. They're doing a closed alpha available on the 23rd of April. The temptation to jump into the closed alpha just to rip it to shreds further. I think that Marathon not being a free-to-play is really putting the game in a serious disadvantage, like what we saw with Concord. However, Bungie's decades of hits suggest that it certainly stands a better shot at selling well, especially if the game turns out to be good.
You're talking a big if here.
My apologies. Sneezing is not fun for hay fever, so. Ugh. And yes, they're talking one massive if. The chances are extremely slim.
Yeah, it's not looking good off the get-go. You've already seen some of the comments. People pretty much all come together saying the same thing about it. And the first look that they've given you, I mean, the first trailer they gave 2 years ago was just what are you even showing at that point? And then the gameplay trailer just looks so boring. As I said, we got to see like 2 or 3 skills, and then all it was people holding W and left clicking, which is every battle royale ever.
Pretty much.
I really just don't think it's an extraction shooter.
No,
just because you can leave
like
the match. Yeah, just because you can leave the match with some loot rather than just be the last one standing and win the match doesn't mean it's an extraction shooter. And as I said, if you're literally able to just load in with a full kit anyway, what's the point of extracting with loot?
No, exactly. Don't get me wrong, it probably won't be as good as your own custom kit, but none of them weapons look like they could be customized effectively.
No, they all look like full bare bones.
Wait, what the fuck's this? I trust Bungie to make good on its ideas and realise its ambition in some form or another. Despite its rocky start, Destiny reached a much better place after the hard work put into it to build what was on what was already there. Really? You trust them?
I mean, how long ago are you talking about when you used to trust them? Because after Destiny 2 took another turn, it went to shit real fast.
You trust these people, do you?
£345.88 to get all the DLC.
You trust them?
Mostly negative on basically everything. Mixed for 73 reviews.
The final shape was actually said to be pretty good. The annual pass wasn't very good, but the final shape DLC itself was. Shadowkeep,
4,200 mostly negative. 3,600 mixed. 180. What was one of them there that had like 37 reviews or something?
Look.
8K mostly negative. 73 reviews. That one there.
Legacy Collection. If I'm right,
What's the price? £58.
Yeah. Lightfall, Witch Queen, Beyond Light, Shadowkeep, Forsaken, 30th anniversary. Pit of Heresy Dungeon, Shattered Throne, and Gasp of Avarice. Dungeon keys for Lightfall and the Witch Queen are sold separately. The Beyond Light and Shadowkeep campaigns are open to all players in Destiny 2 and are not included in this pack. It does make you feel a bit shit, to be honest with you. Anyways, let's move on to something a bit more positive, shall we? Schedule 1 player discovers potential new property coming in future update. A Schedule 1 player has discovered a new property that may be available in the future, in a future update. The newly discovered building has a for sale sign hidden underneath it, with prices, which prices the property at $50,000. The giant building has 4 bedrooms upstairs, 2 larger rooms downstairs. That sounds pretty fucking decently sized, I must admit. Oh, it's the manor! I remember seeing this.
That's up behind the barn, isn't it?
Yeah, that'd be pretty fucking solid.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, that's a lot of room.
Oh yeah.
That's a lot of room. You could literally make a section for most drugs.
Did you see the horse semen TikTok?
Yeah, I sent it you on
It was you sent it? Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a little insane.
Yeah. I didn't know you could have multiple vehicles.
I was wondering if you could. I just never really bothered trying.
Yeah. He had a lot of vans. That's I must admit, that's kind of impressed me. That's a good sized building. And for 50 grand, that's kind of worth it.
I mean, isn't the docks 50 grand as well?
I believe it's 25. No, it could be 50.
No, the barn's 25.
Yeah, that'll be 50 then. So in that case, you'd have one for like industrial stuff that you don't want at your home, and then you'd use the mansion or manor for the other ones that aren't too bad, not being industrial. That'd be pretty interesting. Atomfall player count reaches new heights. So Atomfall has actually surpassed 2 million players, making it Rebellion's most successful launch, which is always good to see. To be honest,
Sure.
as they said just the other month, because we did cover them discussing quite a bit about the game before it released, and they were saying they focus on smaller scale games that they know people will enjoy, and that way they're not taking as much of a risk, but at the same time they're not having to lose members of their staff, which is good. That works well. The game features survival action gameplay. We know all this because we've covered it. Additional content is planned which could help maintain player interest. I'll be honest, that'd be massive. Oh, damn, okay. Atomfall Unclassified. Citizens of Windham, you have been working so hard in our community, we've pinned up some interesting facts about your contribution, flourishing under protocol. So, 2 million plus players. Your first encounter, Wounded Scientist, 59.1% helped him. I helped him. I didn't threaten or kill him, surprisingly. Caches found. I found a fair few myself. Cricket bat kills, over 5.9 million. Yeah, I'm definitely responsible for some of those.
Favourite food, tin of ham.
Hey, them tins of ham are fantastic.
Spiffing Brit would be very disappointed. Only 500,000 cups of tea drank.
I've never come across the cups of tea. Pints of beers ordered. Yeah, I ordered a pint. Comics found. I think I found 1 or 2. And swarm fatalities. I've killed a fair few swarms. I mean, you saw when I shared that, when I was streaming it that day.
Yeah, you had to kill quite a few in such a short amount of time.
Yeah. Wait, you can download and read the classic comics you find on your journey here. What's this?
Damn, that's kind of crazy.
That is so cool. So they made in-world classic comics from the seams of things. And then you can actually... That's phenomenal. That really is going above and beyond for like what you're creating. I absolutely love that. That's great. Found one of the 10 hidden collectible comics in Atomfall. Download and read it here. That's fantastic.
That's pretty cool. We haven't seen something like that in a very long time, actually.
It's been a fair few years, hasn't it? And I really like that.
What was the last thing that had that? Like where you could do that? Because I remember it so vaguely, but I remember it actually being a thing.
Yeah, it does ring a bell. I just don't remember where it came from. It's nice to see Atomfall available for Ultimate and PC Game Pass users. While I think this contributed to the high numbers, this still means that a lot of players were willing to give the game a chance. And yeah, no, 100%. At the end of the day, they do get paid due to the Game Pass players. Wait a minute, when the hell did I rate a game?
What? Oh. Uh-oh. Wait.
What?
They're trying to bait you in, Roy. Don't let them get you.
Don't like that. Anyways, majority of PC gaming revenue reportedly comes from microtransactions.
I mean, the fact that Fortnite V-Bucks is the thumbnail that they decided to use says it all. Like, we already know where a humongous chunk of it comes from, and we know the issues that arise from that game as well.
Isn't that the truth? So, let's cover this. PC gaming is doing well, but it would seem that PC gamers are spending more money on microtransactions than actually buying games. I'll be honest, that doesn't surprise me in recent years because a lot of games have kind of been a letdown, and a lot of people are worrying about.
Oh yeah, just wondering actually. But I just read it coincidentally. My eyes landed right on it. DLC doesn't count. They're not including DLC in these numbers anyway.
That's a bit daft.
I was just about to ask if the DLCs were going to count as microtransactions, but as I said, my eyes happened to land right on.
Okay.
I guess, like, realistically, you'd have to sort of split DLCs into two things, because some of them may as well be microtransactions, whereas others are, some games actually do DLC well. Some of them do just, like, give you it for free. It's an extra part of the game, that they hadn't finished, so here you go. But then the ones that do charge, there are still some that, like, they don't charge much, and it's actually, like, worthwhile, I feel like Roy's about to give us an example. Yep.
Actually, I wasn't going for The Witcher 3 themselves, I was going for CD Projekt Red, because Phantom Liberty is a fantastic example of DLC done right, and as is The Witcher 3 Wild Hunts DLCs. Because this game, fuck me, the DLCs for it. Blood and Wine and Hearts and Stone. Speak to anyone who owns the DLC to these games, and they will tell you the same thing, that it adds like another 10 to 15 hours of content per DLC.
Yeah. And if you're having to pay for that, you can't really complain.
No. Like, I picked up the Game of the Year edition of this game for, I think, £7, which had everything in. You do not whinge at that point.
Nope.
You really don't. I mean, it sits at overwhelmingly positive reviews, 96% positive, out of 755,669 reviews to this day. So,
yeah.
And, last 30 days, it got another 4,500 roughly reviews at 95% positive. There's nothing more you can say to that. So, a new report shows some interesting statistics regarding what PC gamers are spending the most money on and how that's likely to change in the near future. PC gaming has existed side by side with consoles for a long time, but in recent years it's risen to new levels of popularity.
Yes, because it used to be the case of, get a console because it's a lot more affordable compared to PC. Whereas now it's like, the console is so ridiculously expensive, and all the extra stuff you have to pay for, and the constant paying to play online, the constant subscription to this, the constant subscription to that, is now 10 times the cost of building a decent PC that runs better than the console.
I wouldn't say that it costs more upfront, but I'd say the fact that the
No,
PC,
not upfront.
Yeah, it's just more, for me in particular, for one, it's the games that I can play. I've got a lot more access and a lot more variety. But the other side to it is definitely the fact that one PC will last me probably 2 to 3 console generations. And my current PC has lasted the PS4, the PS5, and we're probably close to going into the PS6. I got it actually just before the PS4 released. The only thing I've done is upgraded the GPU. And that was because, to be honest with you, I kind of needed it. Bless it. It's done well, though.
But that's the thing as well, is with the way it works now, especially when you can switch to having to pay to play online now.
Yeah.
When that changed, after like a year of that, you've got like a good portion that you could have spent on a PC.
Yeah. Console exclusives sometimes lock PC gamers out of certain titles for a while. But the performance of a PC gaming rig with good specs can often deliver is often enough for PC gamers to be patient. It's not really.
Here we go again. It's going on around.
It's not even really the specs, though, is it? That's not what makes us be patient. It's just we all know for a fact we just wait a couple of years and guarantee the game will release. There's one exception to that at the moment, as of the moment, and that's Bloodborne. That's it. Other than that, what do people care about? Now a report from Newzoo via TechSpot indicates that 58% of revenue made from PC games in 2024 was from microtransactions. The PC gaming industry saw a whopping $24.4 billion spent on game microtransactions in 2024 alone, with Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Roblox, and Fortnite leading the pack. For earning the most via in-game purchases, this number doesn't include DLC, which saw its own games rising from 0.8% from 2023 to earn $5.3 billion in 2024. This made up an impressive 14% of all PC gaming revenue for the year overall. PC gaming revenue was narrowly up by 0.1%, reaching $37.3 billion overall, with spending expected to rise through at least 2027.
I would just like you to hear that means 72% was spent on things other than the game itself.
Yeah.
So try and tell me that inflation has not gotten absolutely ridiculous and these massive companies are just absolutely ripping everyone off at every chance they get given.
Yeah, they're pretty much milking everyone for what they're worth. Not all PC gaming spending was up. While most of these numbers are good news for game publishers and developers, you'd at least think so, but the amount of fucking cuts and firings is fucking insane.
Literally everything is up, but yeah, half the fucking population of workers in the gaming industry is gone.
Yeah. There was one area that saw significant decrease in spending in 2024. Premium games revenue dropped 2.6%, falling to $10.7 billion. It would seem PC gamers are spending less to pay-to-play titles and more free-to-play games that use microtransactions to keep running. However, $10.7 billion is nothing to scoff at. I can tell you straight up why this is. You tell me any, thoroughly enjoyable AAA titles that released in 2024.
Yeah, we discussed it constantly about how terrible everything has been the last couple of years in terms of big releases. There's been so few.
Split Fiction, I think that released this year. Yep.
Yeah, okay. That's just over a month old. Like the ones that we've seen recently have been a lot better, and it's good to see. But like the last year or two before 2025, it was abysmal. I mean, we saw massive titles getting closed down.
This was the only game that I was happy about.
One of the few that did well.
Yeah, there wasn't anything too amazing. Oh, Space Marine 2. Yeah, I did forget about this game too. Must admit. But yeah, if the fucking quality is dropping and the fucking work put in is dropping, and even the people that are making the games are starting to focus more and more on microtransactions than the actual game, of course the spending that people are going to spend on the game is going to drop.
I mean, we were discussing it yesterday as well, or more ranting to each other about it.
Oh, really?
The people who were making the good games are all gone because the bigger companies have gotten rid of them and then gotten shitty temps in that they can pay a tenth of the pay that they were paying the previous people to do the, in quotation marks, same job, but it releases a steaming pile of shit rather than an actual good game.
Yeah, because they know they're there for 3 months. They know they don't really have to care about what they're pushing out. They're just doing the job and then they're fucking off.
And that's why we've seen the quality of games that we've seen over the last 2 years. Because that's happening more and more.
Exactly. These numbers may come as a surprise to some PC gamers, but they correlate with an earlier report from the same outlet about PC gaming. The director of Newzoo previously reported that 67% of playtime was spent on games 6 years or older, with only 8% of playtime spent on games under 2 years old. Between the two reports, it seems like PC gamers stick with older titles, and likely those that utilize microtransactions, like GTA Online, Fortnite, and Roblox, which all came out over 12 years ago. While new games releases are exciting, it seems that many PC gamers prefer to stick with what they know, but aren't afraid to open their wallets. Just Give us something good that we can sink his teeth in for an extremely long period of time. That's replayable.
Yeah, that's the big issue right there. Replayability.
Indiana Jones and the Great Circle just added the perfect reason to globetrot again. What's that? Remarkable fusion of stealth gameplay, detailed open-ended levels, and a dogged faithfulness to the original film series. It was a match made in shush you. Heaven. Now, just a week ahead of its PlayStation 5 debut, The Great Circle is getting a few new additions that will make re-experiencing this modern classic worthwhile. So what's it adding? Entirely new perks for players to take advantage of in combat. The combat was so fucking basic and easy. Over a dozen quality of life improvements, that's good. And a new hilarious use for the often underutilized item in the game. The biggest item on the list is the two new adventure books, one called Open Season, which makes enemies more vulnerable to follow-up damage after getting hit by Indy's whip. The second is called Sleight of Hand, which lets Indy use his whip to pull enemies' weapons towards him after doing a disarm whip attack. Makes sense? For players partial to the game's optional gunplay, Sleight of Hand will add new strategy and variety. I actually like that idea. I think it's a pretty good one. For the more melee focused player, Indiana's secondary use for the repair kits. These consumables are typically used to give more longevity to Indy's makeshift weapon of choice, but the Great Circle is so chock full of random pickups that they can often be ignored, though most, if not all, of a single playthrough. Through most, if not all, of a single playthrough. Machine Games has made note of this player trend and adjusted things accordingly. Some of you told us that you don't have much use for repair kits. The update's patch notes read, well, now you can throw them at your enemies. You know what, Machine Games? I can appreciate this.
That's pretty good.
You're telling us that a feature that we added to the game's become fucking useless? Okay, how about just use it as a fucking projectile? Why? Because
how common is it you see in a game that, as per every game, there's basically just a meta. There's a gun that is either really fun to use or just stupidly good, and you have no reason to use anything else.
Oh yeah, many times.
So everything else is just sitting there doing nothing.
Yeah, 100%. Honestly, I think that's a fantastic idea. Assassin's Creed Shadows has removed a feature that was annoying players, and consequently AC fans are happy with the decision from Ubisoft. So what is this thing that people disliked? Plenty not to like included a latter of various things, small but tedious things like a 30 FPS cap in the hideout. Ooh.
Why?
This has not been a major complaint of Assassin's Creed fans since launch, since it is a smaller issue, but there have been many complaints about it on Reddit, X, and elsewhere that date back to the launch of the game. For those that didn't know, Assassin's Creed Shadows primarily runs at 60 FPS, so for the game to drop to 30 FPS in the hideout and be capped at this frame rate, well, it sticks out. And for some players, it meant avoiding using this hideout altogether. That said, the cap has been removed.
Don't know why they would put it there to begin with.
Yeah, I'll be honest, that's not a feature. That seems like an oversight.
It sort of makes you wonder, what else have they done to that game that's like that? Stupid little annoying things that just ruin the experience.
Does make you question, doesn't it?
And one of the worst things when you're playing a game is when you get frame drops or stutters or anything like that. So you'd be going into the hideout and you'd be like pulling your hair out trying to figure out why your PC's suddenly running like pure shit.
Yeah, no, exactly. Bloodborne producer establishes Sirius Studio, a Tokyo studio that will focus on console and VR/XR titles that make users' hearts shine.
I've just remembered something because you said VR.
Go on.
So obviously, I've been playing Human Fall Flat recently.
Yes.
Did you know they made a VR version for the game?
I bet that feels like just pure motion sickness.
To me, it sounds perfect, especially when I think about swinging up walls.
Oh yeah,
until I looked at it. Yeah, until I looked at it and saw that they kept it in third person.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Why? What's the point?
the main reason and the whole point of playing, pretty much the whole point of playing VR, is to play a first-person game.
Yeah.
Because, well, you're meant to be the head of the character.
Yeah.
That's why you can see your own body and move your hands around. You know, that's the point of VR.
Yeah,
you
I
put
think
a
I've
game
only
in third
seen
person.
one exception of that rule.
Yeah. To see a game in third person just kind of throws me completely off, and also then just makes it completely pointless of playing Human Fall Flat in VR.
No, I'm with you on that. It's I'll be honest, it's a bit
Some mentioned it to
so.
me yesterday, and I was like, well, if you want the VR version of Human Fall Flat, go play Climby.
Oh, Climby is fucking masterpiece.
Absolutely brilliant.
That game is fucking phenomenal. I need to go and play it again. It's great.
Yeah. No, you just mentioned, you just reading over that and it said VR, just immediately made me think of that. I completely forgot about it.
It's all good. So, Bloodborne producer, I'm not going to try and say your name because I would absolutely butcher it, so I apologise ahead of time.
Teruyuki Toriyama.
Thank you. Has
It's the
banded
best I've
with
got.
former Third Verse colleagues, that person and that person.
Tomohiro Suzuki. And Hideki Iri?
Yeah. To establish world-class development studio, Sirius Studio. As reported by Famitsu, thanks VGC, Sirius, a subsidiary of GZ Group, will prioritise creator independence, all for that, after all three developers left prior employer, Thirdverse, after its focus shifted to more casual games. We are part of a team that produced high-end games at the Japan studio of a company called Thirdverse. Oh, that's why. You misspelled.
There's quite a bit of that in this.
Yeah, explained Erie via automated translation. However, Thirdverse has recently decided to shift its business to producing casual games. Since we were a team that came together to produce high-end games, we had the intention of continuing to make high-end games, so we directly consulted with CEO of Thirdverse, that person, and made the transfer amicably. The Tokyo-based studio will reportedly focus on console and VR/XR titles, developing both new and third-party IPs that make users' hearts shine. It'll be interesting to see what they say.
Yeah, best of luck to
100%. So I'm not going to cover this just yet. First, I've got to go over here because I actually posted something in the research channel again. First time a little bit. Two things actually. So the first thing is Drug Deal Simulator's response to the whole Schedule 1.
Okay.
I thought you'd want to hear about this.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it was kind of very big news.
Yeah.
Just making sure that they haven't updated it since. Yep, it's the exact same one from the 8th of April. Perfect. So, dear gamers, we'd like to address your Schedule 1/Drug Deal Simulator publication and share some facts regarding the situation. 1. There is no lawsuit. 2. It is not our intention to prevent TVGS from selling or developing their game. 3. There is an investigation into the nature of similarities between the games since a preliminary legal analysis indicated there might have been an infringement. 4. The analysis and investigation were necessary in the light of repeating opinions that the games are very similar. By not investigating it, Movie Games, being a publicly traded company, could face severe consequences for negligence. 5. The above was communicated only via ESPI, a stock market communication system, where we are obligated to publish such information for full transparency. Not publishing it would also be a case of negligence. From there, it was picked up by the media and in some cases were wrongly reported as a lawsuit. 6. The above is handled only by Movie Games, the publisher, not Byte Runners, the developer of Drug Deal Simulator. The developer is not involved in it whatsoever. And finally, this bit at the ending. There is no ill will towards TVGS. We even mailed them best wishes shortly before the release when the game was already huge. But before the investigation was deemed necessary. However, we are obligated to perform this investigation, act accordingly to the scope of the infringement if it is confirmed, and inform the public about it via ESPI. Best wishes, Movie Games. Now, do you believe that changed or affected anything?
No, it just honestly, it feels like they're just trying to make themselves seem better, or rather, less worse.
Well, clearly you weren't the only person that thought that way, because, dear God, has it been a fun couple of weeks. Get off the stage, boo, I hope it was worth the 1,000 of negative reviews. There's a typo in bullet point 1, it should say there is no legal action yet, you guys need to back off immediately. You weren't obligated, you just can't handle any competition. Lol, there'll be no Souls-like games if someone wanted to sue for making Souls-like games, to name one.
I mean, Souls-like games are literally the fucking category. There's no name for the category. It is Souls-like.
Yeah.
Which still unfuck out of me.
Yeah. It wasn't us. It was the publishers. The damage is already done. So, do you want to see how the game's holding up since all this went down? Are you sure you want to
It
know?
can't be good. It can't be good. 16% recently.
Yeah.
They're getting absolutely... Oh!
Yeah. Nothing compared to DDS1, buy Schedule 1 instead. Schedule 1 is better in every way. Played this game a few months ago, didn't like it, refunded it, and now they're suing an indie developers for making a good and unique version of the game. Don't waste your time or money, get Schedule 1, it's cheaper and better. This game is bad and boring, not like Schedule 1, so on and so forth. It's just...
You get the gist of it, yeah.
There's not much more I can really say regarding that one. So
just for a quick little bit of information for you to stop caring about drug dealing sim, because who cares, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Schedule 1, currently at 215,000 players right now. 24-hour peak of 352,000, so dropped a little bit, but still very high. But they hit another new all-time peak that we missed just after we would have finished recording last week of 459,075 players.
That is absolutely insane. Fucking fair
Crazy.
play to him, honestly.
And I guarantee you, when he releases like a decent size update, we'll probably see it back, or like constantly back up to 450k.
Oh yeah,
for like a good week or two.
100% we will. It's insane, and it's doing so well, undeservedly so.
Crazy.
Yeah. So last thing to cover quickly before we move on to the kind of serious topic that I do need to quickly cover. So this topic here, Ubisoft insists that buying games doesn't give players unfettered ownership rights to it. Only limited
they're going at this
to the
again.
access to the games. Yeah, do you remember the lawsuit? This came from that lawsuit.
Wonderful.
The reality is consumers were explicitly notified at the time of purchase that they were purchasing a license. These comments come at Ubisoft as Ubisoft seeks to dismiss a case brought by the Crew players who sued the company for shutting down its original racing game in 2024. And they are right, sadly. They do have that right, and we do buy a license to a game. But we do expect it to run for a long time, or at least give us a way to host the servers ourselves.
Yeah.
We paid money
like just
for
completely taking access away is completely unfair.
Yeah, 100% is. And that's the problem.
As they're saying, we've bought a license to it, so we should have access to it no matter what, because we have paid you for that license.
Exactly. At the end of the day, they were still accepting payments for the game up until pretty much they announced that, oh yeah, we're now
just
getting rid of it.
Just reading that paragraph there. The gamers also provided images that depict the activation code for the racer clearly shows that it does not expire until 2099. So they were trying to fight it.
Perhaps unsurprisingly, Ubisoft does not agree. What a shocker.
Unsurprisingly indeed.
Yeah. So, sadly, I'm now going to move on to some kind of annoying news. And angering news, if I'm going to be brutally honest with you. We've covered something similar once before. It was to do with a more terrorist sort of state game. I'm just going to move down a bit because I don't want to have a lot of this on my screen at a time. That's probably the better one to have on my screen. As I said, I just want to quickly mention this. I do not want to cover it in full because this is not what we're about, nor something that I would like to discuss on a consistent basis. What I do want to say, and I am completely in agreement with the UK minister here, I am shocked at Steam and Valve for not picking this up and for not catching this game. It was effectively a game that showed and allowed a lot of bad things. Sexual assault and a lot of things like that. Stuff that should not be shown in these sort of things. It's bad. It really is. Now, I do have some positive news that has come from this. The company that created the game has announced it will withdraw its game from Steam after it was removed from sale in the UK, Canada, and Australia. So it's no longer able to be purchased. It's gone. That is the good news. That happened 2 days after.
Makes you question though, like, what's going on with you if that's something that you're making?
Yeah. No, exactly. I mean, I managed to find.
And that's one thing. That's one thing. Then you've got people who want to play it.
Oh, it had fucking like 75% positive reviews. Not even joking. I could not get my head around that. Honestly, it just absolutely. It fucked me up when I found out about this, man. I mean, still some people playing it. 80% positive out of 236.
That is insane.
It's fucking ridiculous. It is absolutely fucking ridiculous. And, I mean, you can see right there, just as the articles have come out.
Yeah.
And,
that's crazy.
It's bullshit, mate, and it shouldn't have happened. One thing that I do respect the publishers for saying is we don't intend to fight the whole world, and specifically we don't want any problems for Steam and Valve. The reason I respect that they said that is because at the end of the day they've acknowledged they fucked up, they need to back down, they've taken it down. At least they've fucking clicked on.
Not something you're gonna win anyway, so
no, trust me.
Don't dig the hole any deeper, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. That is
a bit like ticking me back there that Steam didn't.
Yeah. I'm really shocked.
Yeah, they didn't see fit to do any either. They just let it through, basically. It's kind of crazy. Yeah.
That's, to be honest, the reason I wanted to mention it, because we talk a lot about accountability for, like, PlayStation, Xbox, and all these other platforms. And we do so, like, on a week-to-week basis, multiple parts of the industry. It's very rare that we say anything bad about Steam, because usually Steam and Valve are pretty on it.
Yeah, I'll be honest. As good as they are, no one's perfect.
No. And this
just don't let it happen again.
Colossal fuck up. So, let's not see another one of these, please. I'd prefer not to be covering this again in like 2 to 3 weeks' time. Thank you.
Hopefully not.
But, yeah, as I said, I just wanted to cover it just to basically state it does happen. Some of this shit is fucking horrendous, and it does need dealing with. Thankfully, it has been dealt with, but it's already done its rounds.
Shouldn't have happened in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. The thing is, it's already done its rounds on social media. People are angry about it, and rightfully so. But I just wanted to kind of give the update that yes, it is gone. It will not be back, which is good news.
I'm just sort of blown away that like people would make something like that.
Yeah,
like we've seen so much questionable crap as it is, but that's that step too far.
Exactly, it is. And as like some of the articles were saying, mate, it's very much a situation of how do you truly know that the people buying that game are over 18? Because the only way on Steam that you really go about it, I can go to any game that's supposed to be over the age of 18, see if I can find it. Assassin's Creed Shadows should do. Oh, it's not an over 18 game.
It is. Scroll down. So there's massive fucking 18 symbols. Wait, too far. Up. There you go.
Oh. So why isn't it limited?
Who knows, mate?
Bit odd. Some games, whenever you go onto them, they'll like ask you your age and you got to enter it manually. That's what I'm more on about.
I'd say
that doesn't really change.
Call of Duty games work?
Probably not. No.
Mm.
But yeah, that's sort of another part to itself, I think, and there is a lot of questions to ask when it comes to this. But that's why I wanted to bring it up, and hopefully we'll get a response from Valve. But I'll be honest, they are very good at just staying quiet on these sorts of topics and just fixing it themselves.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the
I mean,
plan.
I suppose commenting on it just risks adding more
Fuel to
bad
the
publicity
fire.
for them. You know, it's the damage has been done. Get it removed. Let it blow over. It will
Yeah.
eventually.
No, exactly that. But anyways, I think that's now everything that I wanted to. Well, some that I wanted to mention, some that I'll be honest, I wanted to just kind of not discuss, but I
Yeah,
knew it was
pack
needed.
up and stuff in the corner.
Yeah, I knew it was needed.
Yeah, unfortunately so.
Do you have anything you'd like to bring up this week, sir?
Nothing
Anything
that
to
comes to
leave
mind.
us on a bit of a better and higher spirits?
Go do some achievement grinding. It's very fun.
Yeah, definitely do that.
Especially do it with a friend. It's solo. It can be questionable, but do it with a friend. It's much more enjoyable.
Yeah,
You
I'll
can take
try.
the piss out of each other. A friend? What?
That's
What
my
is friend.
that is my question, sir. That is my question. No, very fair idea actually.
Do something positive, you know.
Yeah, relearn a skill. I'm currently relearning everything I ever knew about networks, so relearn
Trying to
skills.
call me out or something.
Not really. I'm trying to realize how dumb I've actually been in the last couple of years. Like, Jesus Christ, how much have I forgot? Quite a lot, apparently. But no. With all that said and done, we thank you all for watching, as always, and we will catch you all in the next episode. If you have enjoyed, feel free to like, follow, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, and join the Discord that's in the description. I've not forgotten it.
The Discord.
And we will see you all next time. Bye for now, guys.
See you next week, guys. Enjoy.